Hey there, game makers, and welcome back to the 35th of Remaking Hotline Miami in GameMaker. And today will be a little bit of a shorter one, so less typing, more just showing what that stuff means, because video was getting way too long. So what am I talking about? Well, a highly stylized points pop-up, which is pretty looking sweet. So basically it's very faithful to the original, almost, of course. And I'm just gonna go in detail what's actually happening step by step, and then I'll just show you the code quickly, and then you will hopefully get the gist how to do it. And of course I will put it into my Discord as a, not the whole project, but just this, you know, damage pop-ups thing, or the pop-up thing in general, so you can just check out the code, or you just, you know, follow the tutorial here. So I just don't want to drag out the video way too long. Alrighty, so if you want to join me on this small little journey, well, then stick around. Completely, you know, skipping my intro, this is One Up Indie. Hello, please subscribe and do some comments. This is good for the algo and good for me. So if you could do me the honor here. And let's go into, first of all, explaining what's actually happening. Black screen. Okay, here we go. So just imagine we have a few things which we need to do. So first of all, let's actually copy paste that dude. So first of all, we need the font. This one is called Justice. The good part about that is it's free to use and abuse for your liking if it's not commercially used. Just to be saying, so just Google Justice, and it's pretty dope. So it's really looking nice. So just be aware of that. But of course, commercial is a different beast, but most of you guys, I guess, just want to check out that stuff. So here, once again, called Justice. So what's actually happening? Quite a few things, because to stylize it, there are a few steps needed. So first of all, we have kind of a point on which our guys here are, well, anchored to, and it's just moving very slowly upwards, very slowly. So this is kind of a small movement. And then the second part, we have a rotation around it with two fonts. One is the front part, or one is the kind of shadow part. And they do in a, well, the kind of circle around this one point, which is going upwards also. But it's not going into, well, around, like for example, something like this. Yeah, just imagine it's round. It's not really round. In a round fashion. Now it's actually kind of egg-shaped, something like this. Yeah, this is looking like an egg. Just imagine it's an egg. So basically it's just, you know, something like this, a little bit squished in the middle. So the movement is looking much nicer. I just tried it with a regular one, and then the egg shape does look finer, to be honest. Alrighty, so that is that part. And then the next thing is we need to color shift. So one which is starting off something like this, I guess in this kind of color range, a little bit lighter. And then we just, you know, change the hue part here on the right side in GameMaker, and we just end up something in the bluish area here. And also for the shadow, but it is less light, so less saturation and luminosity. And we also parallelly have the same hue value, and then we just go in here, and as you can see, looking sweet. And then as you can see, well, these two guys are rotating around each other with a distance of 180 degrees. So this is that part. And then the last thing is we need to pop in and pop out. So basically we just have three states. So the first state is where it's really small and popping in. Then it's idle, where you can visibly see it for, I don't know, a second or so, 1.5, and then it's popping out, so basically getting smaller and then just vanishing. So this is how that works. Alrighty, a few things in advance. So hopefully you do understand it. So I guess the easiest part is basically just to draw the text. So basically it's a text which is being drawn here. So draw text transformed color, because we need a lot of input parameters here. And then first of all, we just say like how many points we're having. Later on, we're going to change this. Then PTS as the font, and then the text, well, with a plus here. So plus some points, 300, 400, it doesn't really matter. And then PTS for short for points. Alrighty, so the first and easiest part is basically moving up where we have in the step event of our damage number or damage pop-up or our actually points pop-up, we just have our y value, and then we just with 0.1 moving it upwards. That's it, pretty easy. And then of course we have kind of the rotation thing. Basically we have a variable which is called angle, and this angle is getting, you know, added by 3. You can change the value as you like, but I thought like this was the most appropriate one. So 3 per step, so per second is 180 degrees, so half a circle in 1 second. And then we just add angle add. So basically it's just, you know, getting updated all the time, and that we will use also. So here these are the easiest parts in total. And then we have to draw our texts. First of all, the first one is our shadow. So this is the darker color, and then the actual, well, not the actual, the front part of the text, which is lighter. And therefore, to get a circular movement, we need length the x and length the y. And normally, for example, what you could do is just do something like this and have, you know, an angle length. For me, it's just, you know, I don't know, 0.6. If you do more, it will become a little bit disjointed. So therefore, it needs to be quite a small number, so they are kind of sticking together. And then use the angle. And of course, on the other side, you have the negative angle. So basically, it's our angle minus 180 or plus 180, doesn't really matter. So they're kind of circling around a point. But here, if you do this, it's not going to be an X shape. It's going to be a circular around 1 point. So therefore, we just use this dude here. And yeah, so basically around the X-axis, we just have the length a little bit shortened. So here, reduced length, I don't know, not too much to be honest, just, you know, until it fits correctly. And now we have kind of an X-shaped movement. This is how that works. And then, for example, here we have XX and YY for our shadow, and then XX2 and YY2 for our frontal. So here, these are the positions, and now we have a rotation movement. So for example, once we started, nothing, for example, you can see like this small little egg-shaped movement is kind of wobbling almost, it's almost wobbling around each other, which is great. So this is how that works out. Then the next thing, of course, because we need to, well, do the next part, which is the color shift. So for example here, where are you? The first color, text color shadow. So here we have, if you've seen the first few videos, this is kind of make color HSV. So basically we're just taking our hue value, which is getting all the time updated. So this is that part, also for the shadow, also for the front part. And how much hue are we adding? Let me see. So basically add hue, a minus value, because we are going to the left part. Once again, this is why we do this, because we are here, and from going to this point, we have to go hue negative. So as you can see, hue is 340 or something, and then it's becoming smaller. That's why it's a minus number, just for explanation why these values are the way they are. And we're starting off with 300 something, which I showed in before. And of course, for the front part, luminosity and saturation is a smaller number, is a bigger number, and saturation and luminosity for the shadow, so the back part, is smaller, so they appear darker. So these are the things, and then, well, we apply them. So the text color for the front part is, well, with the same hue value, but of course, front saturation and front luminosity, and the shadow, back saturation and back luminosity, and these two variables, so text color front and text color shadow, we apply them here. So as you can see here for the shadow part, and here for the front part. So hopefully that is not too difficult. So once again, here the angular movement around a point, and then applying the text color, and then the whole thing works. But of course here I just skipped a little part. So for example, let's say we will do something like this. It would still look good, which is nice. But for example, if it pops up and pops in, it looks kind of strange because it's top left centered. But of course, if you like that effect, you can keep it. But I want to have it a little bit different. Black screen, come on, recording software. Okay, here we go. This is just, so when you pop in and pop out, it looks, it comes from a center point. So for example, as you can see, center point popping in. And come on, and center point popping out. So it's not top left centered. So therefore, we need to have, well, draw set A line and V line. So basically, this is the horizontal and vertical alignment at a center point vertically and horizontally. So these are these guys here, just for explanation. And then the last thing is the text size, which is then defining if it's popping in and popping out. So how does that look like? So let's say our text size at the very beginning is 0, so it's not visible. And then we start with a state of popping in, and then we are adding. And once we are, for example, 0.5, then, we go into the idle state. And in the idle state, we check out our hue value, so text hue. At the very beginning, what was it, 360 something, but of course it's all the time changing the hue, and then hue end, which is what kind of value? So we are ending at 190, and if we are close to that, we are entering the last state, which is then pop out. And it's basically the same as this dude here. We're just reducing the size, and if the size is smaller than 0, we destroy the instance, and boom, this thing is gone. And that's pretty much it. So basically, adding the angle to rotate, moving upwards, color shifting, and then state machine popping in, getting bigger, staying around until it hits a specific hue value. But of course, you can do it with the timer if you like. But hue was actually easier for, because then at some point, okay, I don't want to color shift through all the colors. And then, popping out, getting smaller. And that's pretty much it. You can also add some wobble. I will just add that also in the file in my Discord server. So you can just download it and check it out if you like. I didn't like it, to be honest. But, that's the way it goes. Alrighty, that was it then for the 35th part. And see you in the next one. Have a good one. One up, Indy.